Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast with Borg, Betz, and a baller.
Welcome back. It's Wednesday, December 10th here. Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Morganoni, and I'm joined by Matthew Betz and Mike Wright.
Mike is back. Boys, you know who else is back?
Who's back?
P River, baby. I had to break out the 2020 nickname shirt. Are these even available on the site?
Oh, is
anymore?
P River on that shirt?
Right there, brother.
It is. I can see it.
And every day I wear this. Yeah, I talk to the neighbors, go to the grocery store, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what a conversation starter.
They know.
You forget that P River is on your shirt.
Huh. That's an interesting name. I've never been so proud.
We put P-E-E. See, when I coined the nickname as Phil's marketing team, it was P dot. It was not P-E-E.
We'll have to check the tape
That
on that,
wasn't
Mike.
until it was not until Philip, a.k.a. Phil, and perhaps Big Philly, according to some people's show, that they don't understand how the internet works and that people are going to get mad that your bit isn't taken the wrong way. It was P. Rivers until he destroyed Jason's fantasy football season, where we were reminiscing about this at lunch, how when the year that Phil got the nickname P. River, or the shortening really, that there was I think Jason was in like a win and in situation, and Phillip Rivers went out and just chucked interceptions and got him knocked out.
So that was his final year in the league, by the way. It was when he got the nickname. It was fun to reminisce and go back to the show. And I loved your reaction, Mike, when we were sharing it in our company Slack. It's like, we're just stupid. This is a dumb train of thought that ended up being really endearing, actually. Like, it's very fun. And now 5 years later, here we are. We're basically going back and forth between Brett Rippin' Farts and P. River as who's going to start.
Welcome back.
Which
on the road in Seattle.
In the time period of us media, very, very high profile, important media people having to clarify that things are bits. Us calling Phillip Rivers P. River is a joke. It's a bit. Well, I mean, it was, and then he made it true.
His fault. Man, the Colts are so... This is hilarious. Was it 2021 or 2022? I can't remember. That was when the Jeff Saturday thing happened. So we've had just...
Leader of men.
So many incredible Colts moments over the years. Wow.
I mean...
Yeah, and they had figured it all out. They had figured it out this year. And that's why I'm... The Daniel Jones injury, I am so... Like, I was sad. I was actually impacted emotionally. I was sad. I was sad for Daniel Jones, who has no more money coming in, ladies and gentlemen. He is on a one-year deal. He was going to be the franchise quarterback for the Colts. He will probably still get money, probably. But it's all screwed up now. I'm so sad for the Colts fans who were like, they were going to make a Super Bowl run. And then your quarterback gets hurt. I mean, like, he's gutting it out with a broken leg, and then he tears the other Achilles. It's just a bummer.
When you said he has no more money coming, it makes it sound like he's like filing for
yeah. I mean, the man has already made generational wealth.
122 million in his career, but for the man, and especially him pounding his helmet into the ground immediately, knowing
you knew
that it was over. The Colts are a dynasty team that said, I'm going to trade my next 2 years first, because that's what they did for Sauce Gardner, to go all in their Superflex league, and now they have made the playoffs and they have nobody to start.
No, they're not in the playoffs.
No, for fantasy, essentially. Like you.
Oh, well, I mean, in the fan, like, if you want to go with that correlation, they are out of the fantasy playoffs too. They're done, and they're like, who's the quarterback streamer I could pick up? How about this guy who hasn't played in 4 years? That's 4 or 5. Like, that's definitely going to work.
I definitely so I have Tyler Warren everywhere. I've talked about Tyler Warren almost every week this entire year. I have a week because I'm in a buy situation where I get to figure out, what is this offense? How is he involved? If Phillip Rivers is involved, is he going to just check it down a million times to Tyler Warren? But I have a week to figure it out of like not being stressed. But I am very stressed for next week because I don't know. They have a great game. It's against the 49ers next week. I was very excited about that matchup indoors. Now it's it's just sad.
I think they're going to use a couple packages for Warren at quarterback.
Wildcat?
Yeah, get him at Wildcat. Just get creative. I mean, Shane Steichen is a very good play caller, a good offensive mind. Look, I think this is likely not going to work, if I'm being totally honest. But I think he's going to do everything in his power. Potentially.
Betz is not going to.
You got to leave a small window of hope. Come on, man.
I am old, guys. I'm old. I can admit this. I am not as old as Philip Rivers.
And when you add in that 10 children have aged him beyond belief.
Yes.
Like, dude.
That man is 85 years old.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine taking an NFL hit at 44 years old?
That's what I was talking to the guys at lunch. I'm like, because it was like, does he still have the like, is his brain sharp enough? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, guys, this isn't just football. This is real life of a man, a father of 10 children who's older than us, who hasn't, like, his body's not conditioned anymore to take the hits. One good hit, and he might just turn into dust. He may evaporate.
I have a feeling like, so this would be a really good 90s Disney movie. The father of 10 comes back and plays. But I feel like what it's going to turn into is an SNL skit where, like, he comes back and the first play, it's all hype, like Aaron Rodgers with the jet style, and just crushed. Just Scott Sterling, he's crushed. Just absolutely dead.
Are you guys familiar with Not Another Teen Movie?
Yes.
Vaguely.
And the receiver, Marty finally gets his chance, and the two defenders come flying in, going in opposite directions, and Marty is just split into two pieces.
Dude,
that's not out of the range of outcomes.
I hope on like the first snap of the game, P. River just chucks it down the field to Alec Pierce for like a 60-yard bomb, and we're like, oh, baby, we are back. I mean, that's not going to happen, but yes. How fun would that be?
That would be the most fun outcome, but call me skeptical.
That's fair.
It does just make for like the silly game that we play, which is trying to guess what NFL teams are doing. None of us before the season said, hey, this is where the Colts not only are going to be incredible for 2 months of the season and then spiral into what is this? You didn't see it coming. Poor Anthony Richardson. You had a chance.
Yeah. Broken orbital bone? Which, how bad did that hurt?
That had to hurt really bad.
How bad does it hurt? Like, if you've ever worked out with exercise bands, they're wily. They'll get you. I mean, I've been gotten by exercise bands, and it hurts. But one so strong in the face that it breaks your eye?
Head on a swivel out there.
Never experienced that. Also, Colts, at least have the decency to reach out to me. I have a financial stake in Matthew Ryan coming back and at least taking a snap.
Just one.
I mean, why not Matt Ryan? He played on your team. Come on.
Yeah, if you would have had the odds of who's more likely to take a snap, Matt Ryan or Philip Rivers,
I would have said Matt Ryan.
Apparently, we need to start a new book, which is just really old players that we did not think were still relevant, and they come back, like Flacco did, like all these guys. Little
have
side
them on your
pool.
dynasty squad, just in case.
Just in case. On this episode, we are going to talk about some players that are very, very close and how they're ranked in Dynasty and discuss kind of the nitty-gritty of their differences. So when it comes to talent, situation, their ceiling, their floor, because sometimes it's just a coin flip for certain players when it comes to value, but we'll kind of go through them, see where we disagree, agree, talk about some rookie players, especially that we're trying to figure out who they are after just 3 months of football. But I did want to make sure I read this tweet. This is from Dalton, and he said, I started the Dynasty season 1-6 at the bottom of my standings. No Malik Neighbors, no Tucker Kraft, and we didn't give up. I went on a 7-game winning streak later, and I just locked up the 3 seed.
Let's go.
Yes. It is unlikely, but it happens every year.
We had a team in one of my leagues that started off the season 5-1, lost 7 in a row. Okay, so they were the top team in the league, lost 7 in a row, and now they somehow made their way into the playoffs, like backed their way in, and now they have the most points projected of any team for Week 15.
Kyle, we have a team in our. Well, I don't know if it's ours because you're a co-manager. I don't know where your heart really is for the Dino Senior.
Oh,
It's you and Jeremy.
Oh, well, I'm the architect.
Well, yeah, we all know that. We all know you designed the team. But I'm saying Papa Josh had a super team that before the season even started I think he bought his trophy and his ring he had declared victory. We heard every single day.
Great move, Josh.
He had an unstoppable team. It was the greatest Dynasty team. We all need to pack it in. Let's just get on to 2026 because I am the champion. And then we had a team that was a selling team. It was a seller. They were still selling 30% into the league year. And then they were like, I'm going to buy a couple players. And then they took Papa Josh's playoff spot.
Yes.
Oh, Josh is in the Slack trying to injuries. This is what happens, Josh. It's real life. So anyways, you had Papa Josh's super team not make the playoffs. A team that was a selling team about halfway decides that they're going to jump in and try and contend. They're in. Fantasy football is crazy.
Yeah, we have some. It's been a good year for Dynasty, and even I just found out this morning that in our Diner Junior League, I have the second pick because my team decided to score 6 fewer points than Betz on the season.
Oh, I was so mad. Kyle and I are vying for those top picks. 6 points, man. Come on.
Yeah, I just here's a really easy point to bring up. One, you shouldn't be Josh. If your name is Josh, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be Papa Josh if you are a person. Number 2, don't talk crap like that. That's just it's just like there's zero upside from that other than you run the table. That's not my game.
You talk your garbage. If you want to talk garbage, talk your garbage.
It's stupid. So anyway, let's jump into the film.
Weekly Rewind.
Every week we go back and rewind the film, do deep dives on certain players. I will let Betz start first because I played against this player in a league and did not see it coming. And I think it's one of those that after his rookie year, Blake Corum, we did not know what to do with him because he didn't see much work. And then now it's like it's turning into this 60-40 almost split.
And then Kyron got the money.
Yeah.
Blake Corum, I don't want to overreact to this past week's game against the Cardinals, which obviously the Rams...
I recommend you not.
The Rams could do whatever they wanted and kind of sleepwalk through that game and still put up, 30-plus points. But to Blake Corum's credit, even in the prior games, he had a really overall terrible performance. Most running backs do against Seattle. But in general, looking across the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, coming out of the bye week, he's been among the best backs in football from an efficiency standpoint, 15 yards per carry, 6 in success rate. He's tied with Jahmyr Gibbs for first in missed tackles forced per attempt in that sample. And again, it's a small sample. But what I really want to talk about with Blake Corum here is I feel like down the stretch in these next couple of games, you could have a player on your roster that going into this season, we really weren't sure. Was it Jarquez Hunter as the RB2 if you wanted to get the insurance policy to Kyron Williams, or is it Blake Corum? And now I feel like you have a guy that's truly a player you could put in your flex and feel confident about getting 9 to 12 touches because that's kind of what he's gotten in the last 6 weeks. And to his credit, he's capitalized with the opportunity. And really, when I think about kind of the player that Blake Corum was coming out of Michigan, I don't know where you were at, Mike. I know Kyle and I were kind of lukewarm, was like, he's fine. I wasn't super impressed. I know Jason was kind of down on him. I wasn't a huge fan, but he has looked very, very good in recent weeks. Very explosive, decisive, really good at the goal line, which is what he did at Michigan. So he's got that touchdown ability. But I think my biggest take home here for Blake Corum and for moving forward in Dynasty, I used to always write off rookie running backs who didn't really do anything their first year and just say, okay, well, they had a chance, they didn't do it, the team couldn't trust him, it's over. And we've seen in recent seasons, Tank Bigsby had a moment where he went from nothing to he is a legit role. Blake Corum, from nothing to having a legit role. Who knows what would have happened with Trey Benson, but, the thesis was he's RB2. If Connor goes down, he could be the guy. Obviously, he gets injured. My tip here, and just in Dynasty circles, is don't be too quick to bail on these year 2 backs after a struggling rookie year. And guys that kind of fit the bill for me this year, like Caleb Johnson, Byshal Tootin, he kind of fits because he already has a role, but Byshal Tootin, Dylan Sampson with the Browns, obviously it's Quinshon Judkins as RB1, but he'll have a role next year, I think, too. So my biggest takeaway here on these struggling rookie running backs is don't throw in the towel right away. They do tend to see a little bit of an uptick in year 2, and I know Kyle had some data on that from this past summer as well.
Yeah, if you're a day 2 running back, so that means the team has said, we at least value you with our draft capital, and you saw fewer than 70 touches in year 1. We would normally think like, man, this player's worthless. So Tank Bigsby was the example you just gave. Blake Corum was one of those players. Trey Benson, another player like that. It's like, hey, well, why did you spend this draft capital if you're not going to use this player? In year 2, if they played, didn't get hurt, then almost all of them saw a double-digit touch per game workload, which is really awesome. It's like, that's all I want. Kenyon Drake, if you remember, was one of those players who like all of a sudden it's like, oh, they used the 3rd-round pick on this guy. Darrell Henderson, a.k.a. Darnell Anderson, same kind of player. So I like to think about these type of players as easy buy lows to throw in because the manager who drafted him says this player stinks. But then you're hoping that either there's an injury ahead of them or just a workload increase the next year. A.J. Dillon was another one of those players. So, Mike, who'd you watch?
I watched, just a little not polarizing,
Come on, Mike. Hit him
totally
with it.
normal player in the NFL. Watched Shedeur Sanders, who went off for 364 and 3. Now he completed, we'll hit the button, but 55! Completed 55% of his passes, which generally speaking, not good. Sub 60 is atrocious. He had 47 dropbacks, so I went back and watched him. And yes, he completed only the 55% of his passes. I thought overall, watching it kind of for the second time, because I watched it live on Sunday, but it's in the mixture of 9 televisions where my brain is just melting from overstimulation. I thought he looked pretty good, man. I honestly did. There's so many mistakes to correct. He still has a problem of, which was what my note on him coming out of college, where I would ask the guys, I'm like, have you ever seen Shedeur step into the pocket and throw when he's not going to run? Has anyone ever seen this? And I don't know that it exists. Probably somewhere in there, but the point being, while that's a hyperbolic statement, point being is it was not part of his game, which you need to. It reminded me of like me playing Madden, where I'll take the snap, I'll back up, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get hit. I better back up. And it's like that. It has to be so counterintuitive for human beings to step forward when that's the situation of you have 300-pound men who they're on their way to destroy you, to go forward, to step into it, even though that's what you need to do. But and certainly some indecisiveness, some real bungled plays, that all existed. But there was some really good stuff here. I saw quite a few handfuls of just quick reads, finding the right guy, making the right decision, getting it out. He has some elusiveness to him. The touchdown to Njoku was a great throw.
That was nice.
It really was. So I came away from that game excited. I'm not expecting 364 and 3. We're on a curve. He was playing against the worst team in football record-wise, which they lost to the Tennessee Titans after Quinshon Judkins failed. Did you guys see Judkins get the bus driven over him?
No, what are you
for the
talking
play?
about?
I know that they practiced it during the week.
On the 2-point conversion?
Stefanski came out and he's like, we've practiced that play for months, blah, blah, and it was because when we saw it, it was this trick play of like, this is really what you're going to break out here on this 2-point conversion to win, and it failed so miserably. But the coaching staff is like, not our fault. We practiced it for months. So I thought that was a pretty funny anecdote. But to sum it up, overall, Sanders, for it being his third start, is that what we're on? Kyle?
I know he has 4 games in his sample size. I can look at his starts.
So it must be his third start.
He had 3 starts, and then he came in relief of Gabriel against the Ravens.
Yes. So
Okay.
4th game,
So it's his
third start.
So it's his third start in the NFL. And while Tennessee is overall a bad team. I mean, like, they have a pretty decent run defense overall, and like there is some bright spots for Tennessee despite the record being so bad. I liked it for your third start. I thought that this is something that they can take and they can build on it, point out the good, correct the bad. I mean, it's going to take some time for Shedeur to really correct those mistakes, because those are mistakes that's muscle memory stuff that you got to drill until it's just you simply do those things without thinking about it. But overall, pleased with what I saw, encouraged.
I would say Sanders at his best is Geno Smith, the good version. At his worst,
which that was good. Those years in Seattle when he was actually good.
Yes, for sure. At his worst, he is Geno Smith. Like, where
this version,
it is
nice.
It is really, really bad. So when I went through, I was just kind of asking, other than that massive Jeanty play, I was like, who are these wide receivers running around? Because it accounted for almost none of the yardage except for that huge 60-yard play to Jeanty. And
we had the dump off to Judkins.
He had the Judkins play that went for a long ways. The weirdest part about his plays is that you look at 47 dropbacks. You know, you throw for 364 and 3, it's cool. But like half the time, it's either an incompletion, he's sacked, he's throwing it away. He has as many throwaways in 4 games as Josh Allen has for the entire season. He just he does what Russ used to do all the time. It's just like throw the ball away and just, that's a loss of a down. It either gets batted at the line of scrimmage. It's one of the worst in the league. And then I also found this. There's just not a ton of first downs. There's the big plays, but there's just so many plays where I feel like he's either throwing short of the sticks, but it's also a talent issue with the team. I don't know. So all of that to say, I just don't think he's ever going to run enough that we're going to care in fantasy, ever.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that could be a possibility, but it's just when I'm watching more from the standpoint of, is Cleveland going to draft a quarterback when they're inevitably in the top 5, or are they going to see enough from Sanders to say, we'll use this to build the foundation of our team, and then should we have to go get a quarterback to complete the puzzle, then we'll go do that.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, I think, for the Browns' plans for this year. I do think they've hit on a decent number of their picks in recent seasons, so it's actually been, I think, overall pretty encouraging from like a team building standpoint. You get the extra draft capital, draft Mason Graham this past year at 5th. I feel like if there's a quarterback that they love, they will take him. But as Kyle and I kind of hinted on, 2 weeks ago when we did like our early look at this year's class, not analysis or breakdowns, just like here are the names you got to know. The quarterback position in August this past year was touted as like, this is a nice class. This fall, things have gone completely sideways in this year's rookie class, where we might get like 2 first-round quarterbacks, and before it was like you might get 6. You know, that was one of those situations.
Oh,
so the quarterback class,
Kenny Pickett year.
Yeah, exactly. This quarterback class is, I think, in general viewed as pretty weak. I could see them saying, "Look, like let's keep building this thing. Let's kick it one more year down the road, and just keep the team building process in place, because they're not a quarterback away. Like there's still several pieces away, obviously." So,
right.
I could see it going either way. I will say in Shedeur's defense, like, he definitely has major issues he's got to clean up. I feel like his best play like in college and kind of in this short window, when he can get the ball out quickly, I feel like he's a functional quarterback. And you're not going to win a Super Bowl with that necessarily, but he's functional. He just needs to stop drifting back so far and letting these negative plays happen. But get a better offensive line, get better weapons, who knows? So we'll see. Cleveland's got, I think, big time decisions to make in this offseason.
Well, one decision they won't be having to make is they're going to have a quarterback on this roster, guys, that that is going to count for $80 million against their cap. And you're like, whoa, you can't have that. Yeah, a quarterback on the bench, counting that. Well, because if you cut him, it would be $131 million of a dead cap hit to your salary cap. Dude, even the void year for Deshaun, and I'm talking about Deshaun Watson, if you had pieced that together, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Who?
The void year for Watson is 2027, and it still carries a dead cap of $50 million.
What a contract. Good Lord.
Dude.
So they're right now the 4th overall pick, and then they have Jacksonville's pick at 27. I think I agree with what you're saying, Betz, because like they hit on the Mason Graham pick, and I think they hit on being able to trade out and just acquire. Like there's a lot of teams though that are 3 and 10. It's a logjam of teams in the top 10. The Falcons obviously aren't there because they traded theirs away. It's bad. It's bad here. All right, one more player that I watched on film. We can be quick because if you watch the first half of the game, you'll go, where was Jack Bech, rookie wide receiver for the Raiders? He did not have any targets. And then in the second half, this guy was cooking. He did
all 6 of them were in the second half.
Yes, technically he had a second quarter unofficial target where he drew pass interference from Surtain. That's not going to show up in the stat book, but it wasn't
3 yards.
This was the first week that he overtook Tyler Lockett in terms of percentage of team dropbacks running a route. So Carroll was quoted as talking about Bech earning more playing time. He says, for the young guys, that's why you play them sparingly as you bring them up. In other words, that is something that's been ingrained in Pete Carroll, who's been around the game a long time. It's like, this is just how we do it. And I love Ben Solak's tweet. He said, 14 weeks into the season, the Raiders just discovered that Jack Bech is on the roster, a player they took in the second round.
The high second round, right?
Yeah, so they took him 58th overall, right there, right after Trey Harris.
Middle.
And then it was Kyle Williams, Isaac Tesla at the top of the 3rd, Pat Bryant. There's a bunch of interesting names. That's just the main thing I want to bring up, is Bech is going to get more opportunities. He's really just a big slot wide receiver cast in the wrong offense. Like, that's the only problem when he went to the Raiders. We're like, God, that's like Brock Bowers territory where he's going to be operating all the time. So would you rather have Jack Bech or Trey Harris in Dynasty?
Number one, I'll say, well, thank freaking goodness that Pete Carroll didn't have Brock Bowers as a rookie.
He would have
he would have ruined us. Dude, this franchise was going nowhere. And they signed Tyler Lockett off the street to play him over their high second round pick. I literally, I can't understand it. I don't care if you're, well, right now Tyler Lockett's a much better wide receiver. So what? So what? Who cares? That's so dumb. I mean, that is not a move at all to progress your team into the future, to be playing Tyler Lockett over your second rounder who, maybe Jack Bech stinks, but you have to at least find out on the field on Sunday, not just the practice. You got to let him go out there and get some reps and find out if your team needs a wide receiver next year or not. It is so catastrophically stupid. And like everything that Pete Carroll has done this year, and I was a Pete Carroll guy. Like I thought the hire was, despite him being a bajillion years old, was fine. Like Pete Carroll he had so much success in Seattle, in the NFC West as a Cardinal fan. We hated Pete Carroll. We hated him because he was a good coach who got things done. He was the coach that went out and paid Matt Flynn a whole bunch of money, and then they found Russell Wilson late in the draft, and they said, you know what? He's better. We're going to play him. And to go from that into this caricature who's coaching on Sundays and not playing Jack Bech, was so... Like it's a fireable offense to me, and Pete Carroll will not be there in next year. That would be so wild.
Like he won't be. Like,
my point
living.
Is, like everything that Pete Carroll is doing right now looks like a man who's trying to be. He's doing a George Costanza. He's trying to get fired.
He's doing the quiet quit.
Yeah, he's like, go ahead, fire me. I'm just going to keep cashing these checks. I don't want to be here. I'm old. But so Trey Harris or Jack Bech. Whew. That's a really tough decision because I'm more confident that Trey Harris is good, even though we were the Triforce of power for the Bech boys, the 3 of us on the Dynasty podcast. I do think that Bech can be a good wide receiver. I lean preferring Trey Harris working his way into that offense. Keenan Allen being gone the following year. Probably being gone. Keenan Allen with the Chargers, I don't count it out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Trey Harris, that talent, a sound foundation, a good known quarterback, where the Raiders are gonna have to do a full reset. But good news is they spent a top 5 pick on a running back.
6th pick, Mike. Come on. Don't bury him too much.
Oh my guy.
That is solid team building.
My whole argument goes in the garbage. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, 6th pick? Fine.
He went 6th? Okay. Oh yeah, the Hunter was the
They traded the 5th pick to go.
Mason
Hunter was
Graham
the 5
was 5,
spot, right?
Mason Graham was
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
And then, so, Betz, real quick, Harris or Bech?
Yeah, same as Mike, just kind of, if I'm going to pick between these guys that haven't done a ton, let's be honest, I will just go with a better infrastructure around him. Give me the guy catching passes from Justin Herbert.
Yeah, Bech could have more targets next year, and yet Harris could have more fantasy points just from the overall environment.
Betz, you don't want to do a monologue about Pete Carroll and the Raiders?
I would love to. Do you guys want me to?
Betz gave a full monologue about his Eagles on the
my
DFS.
Lord.
I mean, it was a 10-minute just gripe fest.
You
Spoiled
whiny
baby.
babies.
Yep.
You whiny babies, Philadelphia.
Least watchable offense in football right now.
All right, let's take a quick
That
break.
may be. That may be. That may be. You won the Super Bowl last year. Y'all could shut up. Some of us have never won.
Ever, and we will never win. All right, let's take a quick break. See, what you don't understand, Betz, is there could not be more synergy in our company between Cardinals fans and Falcons fans. Like we know each other. We get it. We understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, get that out of here. You and all your, great people, by the way, Philly fans, great people, but get out of here.
I mean, Kyle, when you're so, mentally weak going into the season, we're not going to be good this year. It's okay to be a Falcons fan and just say, look, we suck. But when the standard is excellence, Kyle, every season, then that's when you really get hurt, When you don't have any expectations.
I feel like I have a good amount of buddies who are Kansas City Chiefs fans. They're not crying.
Yes, they are.
They're upset about how the season has gone, but I don't hear them complaining the way that I hear Philadelphia fans complain.
Well, you know what the Eagles did? They started the demise of the Chiefs. So you're welcome, America.
I realized that, so I just rewatched Dodgeball the other day. Great movie. And
yeah,
that's like Peter LaFleur. He's just like, if you just don't have a goal, just aim low, you won't be disappointed.
Put the bar low.
Yeah, is that what you're saying about our teams?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's kind of how it feels. All right, moving on.
What's the difference between me and you?
All right.
I can't believe you still let the Falcons hurt you, Kyle. The Cardinals haven't truly hurt me in quite a while. I mean, they still get under my skin because of the coaching staff. They need to be, as we say on the main show, put into a cannon and fired into the sun and removed from our existence. But other than that, I'm like, I don't know. I watch them lose, and I'm like,
okay,
good.
Other than Trey McBride, is there any player that you truly love on the team?
That I truly love?
Because you love Trey McBride.
Oh, man. I love Trey McBride. Truly love? No. But I still hold the candle for Marv. Yeah. I choose to believe it's going to work. And I'm a big Trey Benson guy. We haven't heard, but he's not going to get reactivated. Him with the opportunity because of Connor's injury and then him getting injured right away, that was pretty devastating.
See, we had a couple of high highs this year. That Buffalo game was so fun, and the fact that I was there was really, really fun. The Falcons beating the Bills. And the fact that we have Bijan, who is a video game character, is really fun.
He's so good.
And then Drake London's really fun. And then I had everybody else. But, yeah, it is sad. What we're going to do today is sort through some players that are literally ranked back to back to back in Dynasty startups. So when we turn the calendar after this year, you will be parsing through these players if you're in a startup draft or you're trying to trade. And I just want to talk about a couple different categories and see who gets the check mark. Okay, so when I list some rookie running backs here, we're going to first talk about talent. We're going to talk about situation. And some of these are really, really, really razor thin close. Okay. But then we get to offensive line. We get to maybe pass catching ability. Then that kind of lays out for us, man, over the next couple of years, who has a higher ceiling, who has a higher floor, whatnot. So the running backs that right now, they're all ranked in the top 10. It's been a wild ride for Ashton, Jeanty, Omarion, Hampton, TreVeyon, Henderson, Quinshon, Judkins. All 4 of those, if you think about it, have had a wild first year. Judkins were like, is this dude ever playing? Ever.
Right.
Henderson, good Lord. I mean, the first 2 months were scared out of our mind. Hampton just got back on the field. And Jeanty's basically running for like 3 yards a carry for the last year, it feels like.
Dude, I was just having shower thoughts on Jeanty of like...
Been there, man. Been there.
I know, yeah. No, I got you. I'm freaked out. I am very scared for Ash and Jeanty, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to be overreactive or hyperbolic, but it's like if you don't have an offensive line and you don't have a plan for your team, you can be the most talented running. Saquon Barkley is the perfect example. I mean, I know that Barkley came through with some big fantasy years for us when he was with the Giants, but you had multiple years where it was just like he would get injured and stuff, but it's like it wasn't there because the offensive line, everything is on Saquon Barkley to make a bajillion people miss and then score. And that's what it is for Ashton Jeanty right now. And it's not that it can't be fixed, i.e., look at what the Chicago Bears did this offseason. They went and they got the perfect hire. I don't know if there's a perfect type of hire out there, but then they immediately said, all of the money, put all the moves, fix that offensive line. It is the most boring thing to talk about for common fans, and in fantasy football, we at least understand it's important, but it's not fun to talk about offensive line, but you have to invest so much there all the time, and if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's the old the Penei Sewell. You guys remember the Penei Sewell graphic for the Jamar Chase year?
Yep.
It's like Penei Sewell here, anyone else, ball goes to him. You're like, Jamar Chase here, ball doesn't get to Jamar. Now, I mean, Joe Burrow is so good that they've kind of figured it out, but I have concerns about Jeanty if the Raiders don't make massive clubhouse clearing moves and then someone smart comes in and fixes that offensive line.
How many games this year? Okay, he's played 13. How many games this year has Ashton Jeanty been over 4 yards a carry?
Over 4?
4.
Is it even 1? Is it 1 or 2?
I was going to say, the way you're asking it, Kyle, it makes me feel like the answer is 0.
It's 2. It's
Okay.
2. I mean, he had a monster game. He had one game where he went for 138 against the Bears, but the Bears are one of the worst run defenses.
Yeah.
And then another
because
one.
they fixed the offensive line. You can't fix the whole team in 1 year.
Another where they got blown out 40-6, and he went for 4 points. Everything else has been, and yards per carry is just one statistic, but it's been rough. The receiving work at least is there where you feel like this isn't completely a dud. I have him in a league, and in week 16, they play Houston, and I'm benching him for other option.
Who are you going to play over him? Just curious.
Mike's going to look. DK Metcalf in the flex.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Dude, it makes, as long as his tummy stops hurting.
Yeah.
His tum-tum.
I wonder why his tummy's been hurting. But, okay, so between these running backs, which it feels really, really close here. Let's go to offensive line. You mentioned it. Who has the best offensive line of this group? Jeanty, Hampton, Henderson, and Judkins.
If the Chargers' offensive line is healthy, they're definitely the best.
Yeah, I'm with Betz. I'm not concerned about Hampton, honestly, in the slightest.
Okay.
It was unfortunate, all of the injuries. Now, the Chargers have been one of those cursed teams like the 49ers where they just seem to lose key pieces every single year, but I can't buy any stock in that. It seems fluky, but so I would go Hampton for talking offensive line.
He looked good in his few touches.
He looked great yesterday.
On Monday night where I was like, okay, he's good to go. What about in terms of just overall team situation? Would you say that the Chargers have it better or the Patriots have it better in terms of consistently winning, putting up points over the next couple years?
Man,
That's tough.
Is this like a Drake May versus Herbert? Is that really what it comes down to?
well, then you have to factor in Vrabel with his. How does Vrabel make those decisions about Ramondre? Like, someone explain it rationally to me.
They're poker buddies, I guess.
Where and excuses I will not take is, well, Ramondre's the bigger guy. I don't care. He sucks. Like he doesn't get it done. You're like, is James Cook big enough? Is Jahmyr Gibbs big enough? Like Henderson might be a next year thing. It's just that the Vrabel hanging over everything with knowing how he's running things of like Ramondre might still just be getting way too much work. That could be a problem.
I think that's a fair point. Just counterpoint on the Patriots in general. They do have the NFL's cheat code right now, which is a rookie contract for the quarterback. So they
on a 4th place schedule too.
Yeah, it'll be harder next year, obviously, with the success they had this year. But they had unlimited money to spend this past free agency, and they spent it all. And we'll see what happens this coming year. But like they still have the ability financially to be flexible and keep building around Drake May and just kind of use this window to maximize it. Put more investments in the offensive line. Obviously, they drafted their left tackle this past year, but that's still a work in progress. That will get better. I think I lean TreVeyon just for team success, but the Vrabel concerns are real, I think, for the next year at least with Ramondre.
Yeah, with Henderson, you look at his usage. He's only running about 15 routes per game. It's kind of low for a player that if you're looking at pass catching, I think he's the most explosive pass catcher, and yet Jeanty's being the one that's targeted the most. I think Hampton is good enough, maybe to even like really good in the passing game. And then I think Judkins, that was a part of his game in Ohio State. You kind of saw that one play this past weekend where it's like, oh, he can do this. It's part of his game, except they've kind of typecast Sampson as that guy for them. And I hate that when teams do that. They're like, oh, well, they don't catch the ball. It's like what Washington does with Chris Rodriguez. They don't throw him the ball. In college, he was really good at catching the ball at Kentucky, and they just don't care. So
the Judkins, it reminded me of when Henry finally gets a wide open screen.
Unstoppable.
And you're like, oh, you better get out of the way or prepare to have your body destroyed.
All right, so we're kind of sorting through these 4. Henderson's the oldest, not that it really matters. He's 23 years old. Who would you say has the highest ceiling? I'm going to say that as who will be a top 5 running back the soonest of these 4?
I would put probability Hampton at the top, Hendo next, Jeanty, Judkins.
I agree with that list.
It's scary to say that because I'm like tempted to put Jeanty last because of just.
I understand. And what sucks is this is not a list of talent. This is not you pluck guys and put them in a different situation. It's you have to factor some of that stuff in. Scenarios and your surroundings is not everything. Stuff can change rapidly. But you can't project that change coming. You have to hope for it.
Yeah, the hardest part about the Raiders and Browns is you get just such few opportunities inside the 10-yard line that you're left looking at the end of the season. You're like, okay, so Jeanty had a ton of opportunities. He's killing some of these other players, but it's like, oh, well, he had 2 carries inside the 5 the last 2 months or something. It's like there's no chance for him to compete with the other players. That can obviously change. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Jeanty's the one that has a season like a Saquon season where it's like, dude, you got 350 opportunities and you scored 10 times. And
yeah, no, Jeanty's great, but oof.
Okay. I feel like none of these players will be cheap though this offseason.
Of those 4? No, they'll be very expensive.
Yeah, and Betz and I mentioned it. For prospects this next year, Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame is kind of the top name at running back, and then after that, it's a bunch of question marks. So in terms of young running backs, like this group still qualifies as being super young a year into their career. So
we'll find them, guys. We'll find them if they're there.
Okay. All right, let's talk about some disappointing.
Sometimes they're not there. We do have years where they just are not there.
And we draft them anyways in Dynasty in the first round. That's cool. I Jonathan Brooks, sometimes you got to just draft him at 106 and see what happens.
That's so sad, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we've gotten questions about him recently. I'm like, maybe there's something there.
I honestly forgot he was in the league until you just said that.
There you go.
I mean, he should have a chance next year. Rico better go get himself a bag of money.
It's crazy that Jonathan Brooks is less in the league in your mind than P. River. Like that. That's where we're at.
Who's going to be active on Sunday, Kyle? You tell me.
We know who's going to be active. Let's talk about some disappointing sophomore wide receivers in terms of you thought there would be this either massive leap or they'd at least stay as top 10 wide receivers. Rome Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas, all first-round picks the year before. Moving forward, I feel like we're going to have to start having a conversation of what are they, and not just I drafted them, and I drafted them on my team. They're young. It's like we're going to have to start having the conversation. Are they even the best wide receiver on their own teams? It sucks, but honestly, like look at those three players.
No, the Michael Wilson thing is what? What? He's been on the team,
just running around for a couple of years, doing nothing.
Like, I don't understand it. How can a player be on right in front of you, and you don't see this as a possibility?
Jonathan Gannon.
Put him in the cannon. Get him out of here.
Just in the meetings, they're just like, I don't know who this Wilson guy is. Like, they just don't, like, literally don't even know him.
Sir, how do you have the code?
They make him show his badge.
How did you get in here?
Do you work
guys,
here?
It's me, Michael Wilson. They're like, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're fine.
We were doing a film study. It was a couple weeks ago, and Betz did his on Michael Wilson. I went back. I was like, what was his rookie year like? What was his sophomore year like? And it's just very
not good.
Nothing. In fact, his rookie year, he was basically the worst against man coverage of any wide receiver. Like, in my whole database, just the worst.
I remember having discussions with Smiz, one of our buddies, the fantasy football legend guy, and it was just like, Michael Wilson can't get open. You have to know this about him. Don't put him in your DFS lineups. The guy can't get open. And then I don't even know. I don't know what to do here, guys.
The only player, this is going to be really biased, but the only player I can think of that was just like nothing, completely nothing, and then turned into just a monster machine was Marvin Jones Jr., who just all of a sudden had these monster touchdown games and streaks where he was just the dude. I know I'm a little Marv truther through and through, but
you guys remember Kamar Aiken?
Oh yeah.
Oh baby, do I ever. Love that guy. He won me a Dynasty championship because of I will never forget this. Joe Flacco was still the quarterback of the Ravens, and there was like a last second Hail Mary. I think it was like at the end of the half. He caught the touchdown, and I ended up advancing from the semis because of that play. I might be the biggest Kamar Aiken fan in the world, quite frankly.
That is hilarious. It was. I mean, I'm looking at his career log. Year 1, he was on Buffalo. He's credited with 2 games. I don't see any. There's no other counting stats. Year 2, he's credited as being on the Patriots with 1 game. Then he was on Baltimore for 16 games where he caught 24 passes for 267. Then year 4, 75 for 944 yards, and then vanished. I mean, that feels very Michael Wilson of what's about to happen.
So, talking about these 3 young wide receivers, Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., who do you think is the most talented?
Oh,
I had this conversation. It was not in the shower, but
well, those are shower thoughts, Kyle. They're not shower conversations.
I'm just letting people know if they need a visual. I wasn't in the shower.
Well, now they're thinking about you in the shower.
You shouldn't have said that, man.
Having a conversation.
Bunch of pervs out there.
On the phone? I would still go Marv.
That's what I went to.
Raw talent.
I
I'll
felt
say Marv.
wrong thinking it.
I agree.
I wasn't in the shower.
I agree. I mean, the guy was taken, fourth overall, correct? For
But
a reason.
I will add in, I have strong personal biases of Brian Thomas wasn't my favorite prospect, and Rome was. Everyone loved Rome, and they were like, he's clearly the number 3. He might be in the top 2 conversation. And I was like, I think he's pretty good. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So that's not claiming victory. It's just of like those. I really, really liked Marvin. The other 2 guys, I saw flaws.
It's interesting to think about the regime that drafted Rome and Caleb together, that Ben Johnson was not part of that crew.
Right.
And then what is his idea of what Odunze is moving forward? Because in college, it was you're bigger than everybody else. So you throw a jump ball, if it's one-on-one coverage, you're just bigger than everybody else. In the pros, it's if you get one-on-one opportunities, can Caleb put it there accurately? And it hasn't been been the case against man coverage. So
I mean, just those UW. Is it UW?
Yep.
Was it University of Washington or Washington State? I don't remember.
Washington.
That 4-pack.
Polk,
Like,
McMillan, Penix, and Odunze?
yeah. I mean, like, that's strong for college. Jalen Polk's already out of the league, essentially. McMillan, I know a strong second half. We can't really count him right now. I don't know. Just that thought popped into my head right now. Those 4 guys together, right now the careers are not looking hot.
I think in terms of team situation, I still think Rome's the best of these 3. I would like to be in his situation of where the team is going and who's calling the plays.
They got to fix Caleb.
Yes, I agree. But like of the play callers here, I mean, I guess you have Liam Cohen here. I just don't trust Trevor Lawrence, but maybe that's me. I don't trust anybody in these quarterbacks.
I was going to say, they're all the same. Like, Caleb has an unbelievable ceiling if it clicks. And I feel like we've been negative on Caleb. He has done some really good things this year, like avoiding the sacks, negative plays. That was a huge issue last year. He's cleaned that up a lot. The accuracy, hopefully, can get better. And if he starts to do that,
58% bets.
In the second year with Ben Johnson next year, then the ceiling is sky high. I'm with Kyle and Trevor Lawrence.
What was Richardson at? When we were just destroying him?
Well, you just got to cite Josh Allen, and then it'll fix everything.
There you go.
Just cite.
Just do that.
Early
year
Josh
2
Allen.
was 48% from Richardson.
My goodness.
Oh.
Never mind. I retract.
And then you got the whole Kyler, not Kyler, Jacoby, who is it situation with Marv. So they're all very similar in that way. I agree.
Who is the best route runner of these 3?
Marv.
I think Marv.
I think it's if Brian Thomas is trying, it can be him.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't have enough to argue, but I just what I've seen. I would in tactician land, Marv, but Marv doesn't have enough bully. He doesn't have enough dog right now.
All right, one more question here with these 3. Who do you think will be top 10 first of this group? So Thomas obviously did it this past year. So who of these is going to be a top 10 fantasy wide receiver first? In points, not just in dynasty value or theory.
Go ahead, Betz.
Go ahead, Kyle.
It stinks that we could answer none of them, but I
personally feel the best about the chances of the Bears offense ascending to that level, where team level success matters so much for that. I would go with Rome, but I don't feel good about that.
I think it's Rome as well. The hardest part about Marv is like, is he ever going to lead his team in targets? Because if he's not, that's sad.
I mean, Trey McBride's a beast.
Trey McBride is a beast. The what Marv has the situation of it could be a boat, because it would be Arizona, boots on the ground. It would be shocking to me if they run forward next year with the same crew, with Gannon, with Drew Petzig. Kyler's gone. Kyler won't be here. I don't think. And I don't think that the coaching staff will be here. So it's you're on a full great reset for the team. and you're hoping that they completely stick the landing. So that's the harder part. Does Caleb actually really figure it out? And the dude looks so panicked on like every play. Like I know he's out athleting people. I'm not denying what the success that the Bears are having, but this is not traditional quarterback play that's giving us fantasy goodness. Has in the last 2 months, has anyone been great for fantasy on the Bears? Not just some guys have been fine, but great. Other than the running backs,
Loveland's been good,
directly,
not great.
Directly connected to the success of Caleb Williams. Has anyone provided you 2 months straight of you're like, I've been happy more than I have starting these guys?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
And that's it's year 2, but that's a problem. I think that is a problem. Oh my! This is so disappointing. Really talking about these 3 guys, I don't like it at all, Kyle.
I was even thinking about the floor is like, I think we would say
the floor is lava.
The floor is Brian Thomas isn't on this team and nobody likes him there. I think he has the lowest floor, but you could talk me into him having the highest ceiling still.
I'm still on Team Brian Thomas. I think the beginning of the year.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he stinks. I was scared you were going to say that.
No, I don't think he stinks. I think that he is still good. I think in the year we had a true slip up when Cohen talked about his wrist. Like we had all those games at the beginning where he was T-Rexing stuff. He's not going hard in the paint. It's like I feel like it's this forgotten moment in time of we had a press conference where Liam Cohen was like, yeah, well, he's going through some wrist problems. And then there was like a PR attack of we had to fully retract all of that stuff. No. I don't remember how they defended it, but they tried to erase it. But he said that. And then Brian Thomas also, what's he been out with a leg? I can't remember now. Betz, what's he been out with recently? He's just came back from something. Betz, injury man. Go.
Hold on.
Tell us
injury
what everyone's hurting with at all times.
Oh my God.
Ankle.
I'll find
ankle
it.
sprain.
Ankle. Okay, see. Leg. It was new.
Something on the
to his leg. And I think that once he's back to health, not that I love Trevor Lawrence, but I like Liam Cohen and I like the offensive system. I think that Brian Thomas of the 3 is the most likely to bounce back to me.
Yeah, we talked with Jason, was it last week, Kyle, about Brian Thomas, and we all kind of came to the same conclusion. Like if you just take a step back and kind of look at him from rookie year to now and kind of the totality of the situation, in my opinion, guys don't just accidentally do what he did as a rookie. I know it was Mac Jones, and apparently Mac Jones is him. But you don't just accidentally fall into that level of target earning and that level of efficiency unless you are legit good. And he was good, and I still think is good. It's been a very down year. Well, you look at like his box scores and target counts, like he's still earning targets at a very, very high level, at least before the injury he was. We'll see if that comes back here down the stretch. We're coming off of a 3-catch for 87-yard game this past week. Obviously, it's not going to be incredible when that happens, but I still think the efficiency upside is certainly there if he can get healthy down the stretch here and really make a push for a team that's, looking towards the playoffs. So I think he's a big piece of this team. I agree. If there's anybody that's like super worried about him, I'm still in on Brian Thomas.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll talk about a few more players. One more group we are going to discuss the dynasty differences is a group of rookie tight ends. So this gap has gotten a lot closer over the last month, where if I would have named Tyler Warren, you would have said, oh, that's the rookie tight end I want. But between Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Oronde Gadsden, who's not done great, and Harold Fannin, who, if you have Harold Fannin and you are in the fantasy playoffs, congratulations, because this dude is going to tear it up over the last month of the season.
Harold Fannin is we must celebrate Harold Fannin, the fantasy nerds. We must unite, because I feel like we watch tight ends differently than NFL scouts. We're watching specifically for offensive firepower. I feel like Harold Fannin was universally loved by the fantasy football community. And then where did he go in the draft? 4th round? Am I
Third
remembering
round.
that right?
Third round.
3rd round? Okay, well, third round's pretty good. But
lower than
we all loved him, though.
Yes. I mean, the highest yards per out run of any tight end prospect that we have seen, of any rookie. So, like, coming in, we were all like, there's some juice here. I know the way he was used at Bowling Green was very different than how he'd be used in the NFL. And yet, he goes to the Browns, and they're kind of using him as a jack-of-all-trades kind of guy. Like, what was it, week 1? We're like, oh, this dude's getting backfield carries. This is cool. Like, so he's been targeted on 25% of his routes this year, Harold Fannin. And I was like, how often has that happened for any rookie tight end to be targeted on 25% of your routes? Brock Bowers, Greg Olsen, when he was on the Bears way back in the day, Jordan Reed, which is just a fun name to say. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
And Harold Fannin. That's the group. That's it over the last 20 years. So earning targets as a rookie and as a tight end, they're just both of those things is really, really rare. He's moved on up. I feel like Gadsden has definitely moved down recently in terms of sentiment.
He burned pretty hot.
Guys, go back through Gadsden's game logs, and I've watched every Chargers game. It was basically like 2.5 good games. That's it.
It really felt like building something, though.
Yes, and he still holds the value in terms of young. We care about the offense, what he could be, but I would rather have Fannin in Dynasty than Gadsden. And I think you can make an argument that Harold Fannin is a top 5 Dynasty tight end. Like, you're going to have Bowers and McBride at the top. But then after that, would you rather have Warren or Loveland? Mike has...
Yes.
Can I just say yes?
Yes.
Mike has slowly just in the shadows just been whispering little things about Colston Loveland.
I tried to tell you guys he was good.
I never said he wasn't good.
Loveland.
Kyle was adamant from the beginning. Tyler Warren is way better than Colston Loveland. And I said, dude.
That's the people on Twitter that want to make liking Tyler Warren an anti-Loveland.
Well, you know what, Kyle? I know how this is going to be.
I heard the same thing, Betz.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Kyle.
Him and Jason just
haters.
Calling Loveland a kitty cat.
Haters.
Saying Loveland can't break tackles. He's useless.
But I will say, now that everybody is starting to be into Tyler Warren, or they got into him in the middle of the year, now Kyle's like, you know what, guys? This Harold Fannin guy, he could be it. Now he's pivoting as soon as he becomes popular. But in all seriousness, I think this group of 4 is very encouraging for the next couple of years in Dynasty. Like, all of these guys, if you have any of them on your roster, you should feel very excited about. I think the thing it's tough with Tyler Warren because we're going to see, obviously, with the team level success come down here over the final month. You might not remember what the early part of the year was, but the dude was dominating. Colston Loveland is doing the classic rookie thing where it took a while to get here, but we're finally seeing him earn a consistent role. And Gadsden, like, you know, if you had him on your roster, he probably either was like a 4th round rookie pick or just like picked him up off the waiver wire. And when you have those guys that you add to your roster and they actually have some value moving forward, that is huge in Dynasty. So I like all 4 of these guys, and what Fannin has done has been honestly very impressive because it kind of feels lost in the shuffle because the Browns' team level success has been so bad, but he is legit good. And David Njoku was in a contract year this year. So I like Harold Fannin quite a bit.
Colston Loveland is part of what gives a piece of the variable, a piece of the pie, whatever, that gives me pause on all the other Chicago guys. Like, the way I see it, Loveland will be the best offensive player, pass catcher on the team next year.
Okay.
He will already be there to me. I think he might already be there right now.
I agree.
He's such a complete and good tight end. And they took him at 10. Remember all the narratives of the teams we found out later that teams were calling like crazy to move up in the first round to go get Loveland. Loveland gets drafted at number 10 ahead of Warren, and those calls then stop, and no one else is trying to move up for anybody. Could Loveland become one of those, like a McBride, where he's the focal point of the offense, and then the other guys are the ancillary pieces? I think that is something that could happen. Kyle, you brought it up. Ben Johnson didn't pick Rome. Not that Ben Johnson doesn't like him, but he didn't pick Rome of This is how my offense is going to function. Loveland was his first pick. So I think that Loveland could next year could really, really take a gigantic step and be one of those, where do you think you guys Loveland, like redraft? Like, to me, he feels like he's going to fall into one of those not late, middle to.
I was going to say sixth
mid-late.
round was the first.
Yeah. Okay, like that's like a 6th, 7th round pick that I will be all about next year.
I'm thinking in Dynasty, to acquire somebody like Loveland, it's going to cost you a first, and yet there are prospects this next year that I think people will fall in love with in the 105 to 108 range, where I would be fine with that. If you want to flip that and say, I'll give up my 106 for Loveland, I'd rather have Loveland. If you know what he
just
is.
a 1-for-1?
That's what I traded this past year.
You will not get that done.
I traded this past year the 108 for Loveland before he did anything. And yet when it gets to February or March, there will be prospects that people go, ooh, I want this wide receiver at 105 or 106.
I mean,
Sure.
that's literally every
yeah.
offseason in Dynasty.
I know.
Every class.
But I'm saying Loveland first is the starting point of the conversation of if you're to me, everyone's different, but like I feel like to go even get in the door to talk about trading for Loveland is here's my first, here's what else I'm going to give you. This you can't just 1-for-1 swap 1 first-round pick for Loveland. That will not work.
Yeah, and you have him, so you understand what it's like to hit on a pick in the first round. That's a tight end, which doesn't always happen. But like with Warren, it stinks that right now we're kind of in a holding pattern of not just the rest of the season. We're in a holding pattern for next year.
Yeah, we are. That's what I mean. That's why I'm just so bummed and sad for Colts fans. They probably still bring Daniel Jones back. It's hard to imagine a world they don't, but injury man. Can Daniel Jones actually be ready to start the year?
It's possible. The tricky thing is it's his right Achilles. So any sort of like push off and drive off the dropbacks is going to be a big issue. As the year goes on, it'll get better, but there's a chance he can be ready for week 1. I honestly think his best possibility to continue to have success next year is with the Colts, because coming off surgery, rehabbing during free agency window, like teams are going to want to know, are you healthy? Can you start for us right away? And I don't think the market will be the same for him as it would have been otherwise. So yes, I think he could be available for week 1. He will not be anywhere close to 100%, and you won't get much of the rushing upside this year or next year.
Well, but I mean this from the aspect of they're probably going to have to find a suitable backup who can try and carry the team for a month or so.
Phillip Rivers?
It's not going to be Phillip Rivers.
45-year-old Phillip Rivers.
I mean, we can take a gander at the free agent list. It could be Rodgers.
It's gross.
Betz, you just posted.
It is not good.
The current free agent quarterbacks. Daniel Jones is at the top, of course. Rodgers, Russ, Mariota, everyone. Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Jimmy Garoppolo. So I mean, I imagine you have to find someone who can go like carry your team for a while, and then that's going to be subpar production for Warren. Then you're going to have the transition to Jones, and I mean, I don't know, man. It's a scary proposition.
If you're a team though, and you know that a player is coming off an Achilles injury, you give him $100 million guaranteed. I know teams do that all the time. My team's done that. It's worked out really, really well for my Falcons. So yeah,
it's best practice.
That's really, there's precedent for it. That's what his agent is going to say. Say, hey, I saw the Falcons do this. Give away $100 million. Go for it. That's going to do it for this episode. Make sure you check out everything on thefantasyfootballers.com, including our Dynasty Trade Analyzer. If you want to go back and forth and make some trades this offseason. We'll talk to you next week.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. If you want to take your Dynasty skills to the next level, check out thefantasyfootballers.com.